What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to yet another amazing episode of Tech and Chill, the podcast where we drive you deep into the world of technology while keeping it lit and relatable. Today, we have an amazing guest. This guest, I had to cross 7 rivers to bring this guest today.
You forgot 7 C's.
This guest, he is our one and only Thanos. Trade with Thanos. The number one features trader.
No, say top 5 because they'll come and argue now.
Okay, top 5 features trader.
She's going to say number 1. I haven't been saying I'm number 1. So.
Okay, top 5 features trader.
But for me, I be number 1 Shabode. For peace to reign.
But we are saying the same thing now.
No, for peace to reign. Okay, top 5.
Top 5 features trader. Hello, Mr. Thanos.
Hi. How are you?
Fine. How did you even derive this name, Thanos? Is that your real name? No, I'm sure it's not.
It cannot be my real name, but then let me start from the first time I heard it. I was reading the comics, I was reading Marvel comics, and then of all the villains that were in the Marvel comics, Thanos stood out because he wasn't actually a villain, he was just somebody that wanted the best for the world, but he always had like the worst ways of doing the best things.
Mm-hmm.
But then everything he wanted to do made sense. He had an opinion that the world was by default meant to be half of the current population, which in a sense is true.
True.
Because if we had a typical process of 2 producing 1, the world would be half its population. But then nowadays you have 2 producing 7. 2 producing 9, overpopulating the world. So Thanos was of the opinion that the world is suffering because of overpopulation, and there's no better way to fix the world than to depopulate the world. But then his own way of depopulating the world was, if you have 2 loved ones, you are okay having just 1 loved one. He can take 1. So that was his own way of depopulating the world. And when I keyed into what he was trying to do, and I understood that the world actually needed to be fixed because, how about now? If you look around, you can already see like the problems that overpopulation is causing.
Especially here in Lagos.
Exactly. Imagine a house where there's just the husband, the wife, and 5 children. And it is 1 room.
Hey.
Now if you could snap your fingers and reduce it to 2 children for him, yes, he's going to cry that he has lost 3 children, but then he still has 2 children to carry on with. And then, in the long run, in that house, things are going to get healthier for them because it is now less populated.
Yeah.
But his way of going about things like that didn't sit right with everybody. And of course, where there are heroes and there are villains, the villain is always wrong. But his idea wasn't wrong. Because his own planet suffered from the same thing. So he wanted to rid the world of what killed his own planet.
So
and he had the power to do it. So I picked the name because everybody always wonders, of all the Marvel characters, why Thanos? If you watch Avengers Endgame, you will understand why I chose Thanos.
I haven't seen that one yet.
He was so hell-bent on getting what he wanted. Thanos is like the most persevering villain that has ever existed in any comic or movie of superheroes and villains. He kept on till the end. They cut off his head, and then in the next one, he back from the past. He was back in the future again to still disturb their life. So I liked the undying will he had, even in the face of all the adversity of the whole Avengers is against me. The whole world has brought the Avengers to fight only me. He still looked at all of them and was like, with these 5 stones in my gauntlet, all of you are one. I will pieces everybody. So he had that will. I think it was the will especially that I admired, because the type of person I am, no matter how he wants to be bad, as far as I know that there's the slightest possibility that I can still make it out of every bad situation is the reason why I struggle to make it out of every bad situation.
Okay, now we've gotten the origin of your name. But today we're going to be talking about the importance of finding balance between your career, finding a good relationship with your family, friends, loved ones, and still striking a balance with your career. So, knowing the overwhelming nature of the industry, do you think one can still afford to enjoy as much relaxation as expected?
It's close to impossible.
Why do you say so?
Because signing up for a space as vast as the tech space, it already means that you are making a sacrifice that you don't know yet. Everybody starts off without the knowledge that they are about to make serious sacrifices. It is along the line you start to realize that subconsciously you are sacrificing a lot of things to do what you are doing. And then it only comes to light when you have these short moments of reflection and you're like, oh my God, I've forgotten about this person. Then you're like, oh my God, I've not called this person in 2 weeks. I've not called my mom in 3 days. Those are the moments where you just realize that you're actually sacrificing a lot of your life outside.
Your personal life.
Your life outside your career, because you can never be too in touch with how much of it you can control. You only realize it in stages. So, for example, you might be at a point where you woke up in the morning and you told yourself, oh, today I'm going to work for like 12 hours. Now, when you woke up in the morning and said you're going to work for 12 hours, you didn't put into consideration the fact that yesterday you told your mom you're going to call her in the morning. You probably told your brothers that you're going to go out that afternoon. And you probably told your girlfriend that she's going to go out with you and your brothers and your mom that same afternoon. But then you're already waking up in the morning and thinking career first.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're going to work for like 12, 15 hours that day. While you are working, you are 9 hours in, 10 hours in. One message just pops into your phone. We're waiting for you. That is the moment of realization where you're like, was I supposed to be somewhere? And then in the midst of all that career activities that is going on at that point, you realize that you already sacrificed all your plans for your loved ones, for your career. And you will have days like that more times than you can even count. Because there are days where you even want to sleep, probably because you have a flight in the morning. This one happened to me recently. I was going to go to Akwa Ibom for a crypto event, and my mom saw me and she was like, the way you are awake, it's like you don't know that you have flight tomorrow. And I'm like, tomorrow, okay. Few seconds in, I was like, what's tomorrow? And she's like, tomorrow is Friday now. I said, it's a lie. She said, no, tomorrow is Friday. I meant to go to Akwa.
You don't keep probably like.
Even if you do, you can't, as I said, you can't be fully in touch with the outside life when you are deeply engrossed in the career life. But then the only way to strike a balance is to surround yourself with people that will continue to remind you that there's an outside life out of your career life. Because if you just surround yourself with people who are hell-bent on being career people just like you will be a bunch of disconnected individuals from the outside life. All of you will just form a group of people who think they are grinding and working and struggling and fighting and trying to make it for themselves. And then you just be a bunch of people who have lost all possible contact.
And become antisocial.
Exactly. And in the process of becoming antisocial, you face a lot of denial stages where you will keep telling yourself, no, me care. I used to talk to my dad now, and then they will ask you how many times. Like, I called him 2 times last week now. To you now, it is normal to call him 2 times. But then, fast forward to or rewind to maybe 3 months back.
Yeah.
You were not comfortable if you've not spoken to him for like 5 times in the week. And then maybe before then, there was a time when it was every day. Which is why I said it's a stage. Like, it comes in phases. There's a phase where you are still feeling like, oh, you can always tag your family along, pull them along. When stuff's happening in your career, you call them and you're like, oh, mommy, see what happened though. I'm happy this one happened. You call your brother and you're like, oh, money is coming next week. Oh, this job is going to pay. And then at a point, you surround yourself with people, you tell those things, and then you no longer tell your family. Which is why in my come up, I actually chose to always break the good news to my family first, because it's a way of always getting back to them.
Right.
So like when stuff happen to me, when I lose money, I call them and I'm like, oh, I lost money. When I win and I'm like, I won't know. And they are the ones I'm telling first, because it is just a way of always establishing that communication with them. And then it also puts me in a position where when they notice that I'm losing my touch, they consciously ask me, how are things going? And I'm like, oh, that's when I come back and I realize that, I meant to update them because they are the only ones I like to update. And then my dad sometimes will just be like, how is it going? And I'll be like, it's going well. You say, don't tell me it's going well. Details. And then I'll start breaking it down for him. And then I'll tell him some of the stuff I'm struggling with. And then people always feel like, the older generation can advise them because it's tech. But then it is still like a business. The world of experience that they have is still more than whatever you think you have.
True.
So most times when I talk to my dad, he still ends up giving me advice that I couldn't have thought of by myself. He looked at me recently and told me, you don't have money again. I'm like, why do you say that? He said, you don't have money again. So like 2 days after, he told me that he knows I can do more than I'm doing. And then I wanted to first do bad girl. I was like, me, that was not so slim. But then after the whole conversation, I went to my room and I was like, I'm lazy. That was when I went to my Twitter, and then I was scrolling to my Twitter and I was like, Thanos, you are lazy. Because I saw a lot of stuff that I've done over the years, and I'm like, you've slacked. I know I've slacked.
Okay. So what strategies do you think tech professionals can employ to maintain a healthy work balance and their relationship with people?
Strategies. Okay, for one, as I said, don't disconnect yourself from your family. Because if you can relate with your family, you can obviously relate with your friends. You might think you are relating with your friends, but then eventually you have only career friends.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest strategies is make friends outside your career more than you have in your career. Because those friends outside your career, there will be constant reality checks for you that you need to still pay attention to life outside your career. If, for example, now I didn't have friends outside of crypto and Web3 or whatever, it will be very hard for me to come out of my house, dress up, enter my car, and say I'm going to a party that my guys in crypto are not going for. But then I've been able to put myself in a position where I can go out with people that are not even affiliated with crypto in any way. And then we're out for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. We're not talking about anything tech.
Okay.
We're not talking about anything tech. Like, we're talking about stuffs that are happening like in real life. So I feel like one of the biggest strategies anybody can employ is to make sure that you maintain friendships outside of your career. Maintain friendships outside of work, outside of tech. Yes, it is good to have friends in your line of work because you will always communicate better, but then only about work. If you have 7 tech guys that are friends, be in their circle and have maybe like a 5-minute conversation, you realize that when you listen to them speak, they don't talk about anything. Because before they say 2 things, they are back to talking about work. Before they say 3 things, they are back to talking about work. But take one tech person out of that 7 and put him in the midst of 8 people that are not in tech. You will see a different person. Because there is this paradigm shift that happens every time you take yourself out of career and put yourself in real life. You realize that you cannot be that career person to real life people. I cannot come out now and start saying, okay, I'm with a banker, and he says something like he spent 50K in the mall, and in my head I'm like, guy, you spent $35 and you're complaining. To me, as the person who is more tech savvy or who is more involved in tech, it's just $35. But to him, he literally just wiped out, I think, 25% of his salary. So like, those are conversations that help you realize that you need to keep these people close, because they will continue to let you understand that you are just living in a shadow of who you really are.
Or who you think you are.
Or who you think you are. You are tagging it as a career life. That career life, there's no how you want to do it. It will end.
True.
It will end. If you are a web designer, you cannot be a web designer forever. You will still go back to being that person you were before web design. But there are only 2 things involved. You either come out of web design as a successful web designer and then you join real life, or you come out as a failed web designer and still join real life.
He's like started from afresh.
Which is why every single time you go back to reality, make sure that you have made the most of your career time. So that's one of the biggest strategies. Keep those connections with the real world in this sense. Let's say the career world is not the real world. So keep those connections with the real world. That's one strategy. And then if it's for relationships that are not like family, friends, like let's say like partners, for example, I think the best way to keep your partners involved is to feed them less about your career. Because if you keep offloading every single thing that happens in your career to your partner,
They get bored.
they become a career partner.
Really?
Because it's like every single time you want to talk to them, you're only talking to them about what's going on at work.
Yeah, and there's nothing special to talk about aside work.
Because all your conversations just channel to work. So, like, it's even better you keep them in the dark about what you do, so that they don't have full understanding of what you do. Because the moment they get full understanding of what you do, they are obligated as partners to start to try to understand.
Okay, what are the psychological and emotional implications of neglecting personal relationships and relaxation in favor of your career? And how do you think it can be mitigated?
Number one, loneliness.
Huh?
Loneliness. That's one of the effects of sidelining all those other things, because that's like the biggest psychological and emotional.
Do you have a
effect.
girlfriend?
Me.
Oh, it's not like it's a bad.
These relationships are hard to manage at this point. Apart from the fact that there is career, we are in one of the worst administrations that Nigeria will ever record. Relationships.
So how does relationship tend to do with the administration?
Expensive maintenance.
Okay.
Yes, now.
Now why do you say so?
People downplay the effect of good finances in relationships.
People?
Generally.
No.
Because they think that relationships can thrive in the midst of struggling finances, but it's not possible.
Why do you say it's not possible?
Money is like the biggest source of happiness.
Yes, money is.
Whether you agree or not, it is the biggest source of happiness.
I will not lie. It is.
Vanity is interesting. Vanity is sweet. Vanity is enticing. That is why it is vanity. With the presence of a little vanity, relationships are more interesting. All the wigs, parties, dates, we call them vanity, but then in terms of love, we will say that is love language, but it is vanity.
It's true, Sha.
So, vanity is expensive now. Luxury is expensive. Different stages of luxury are expensive. Based on your pocket, you have your level of luxury. To some people, buying a new wristwatch is luxury. To some people, eating 3 times a day is luxury.
True.
So there are different stages to luxury, and finances play a major role in every type of relationship, family, girlfriend, whatever it is. Finances play a major role, because if you have a girl and you are struggling financially, she either becomes supportive, which won't last forever, and also has its disadvantages.
If you're saying that it won't last forever, there are people that, or married people now, that say that their relationship, when they had nothing, that she was there and they were riding all along to the point where they got married. So if you're saying it won't last long, that means it's working for some people.
When I say it won't last long, what I mean is, in the process of it working for them, they will not tell you that at some point it became difficult for the girl to continue supporting.
Well,
those are the details that they will leave out. Even if she was supportive throughout when he didn't have nothing, just know that even when he didn't have nothing, he was still giving into the relationship out of peril. Men are structured to give in the current society. Out of abundance, men give. Out of peril, men give. Out of minute, men give. Even when they have nothing, men still give. That is willingly. Now, in some types of relationships, men are obligated to give. When they have many, they are obligated to give. When they have small, they are obligated to give. When they are in peril, they are obligated to give. Which is why I stay away from relationships where giving is like an obligation. It has to be willing.
Yeah.
The moment your reason for giving in any type of relationship stops being sourced from free will, there's something wrong. It is going to affect you in the long run. You will find yourself being borderline depressed for nothing. And people think depression only attacks people who are poor. No. There are a lot of rich people who are deeply depressed.
Yeah.
But then in the midst of their depression, money is a good way to hide depression. Now, hiding depression doesn't simply mean you are enjoying your money. It just means that money is like the blockade that prevents you from accepting the reality that you're actually depressed. There are a lot of rich people that want to have more friends that are not rich. I told my guys something. I used to tell my guys, I said, the only way rich people feel rich is when they can flex their money on the poor. Take a man that earns $1 million yearly and put him in the midst of people that earn $10 million yearly. The people who earn $10 million will start feeling rich because of that man that earns $1 million. But that man that earns $1 million, he's not poor. But in the midst of people who earn $10 million, he's the poorest. Now, the only way rich people can ever feel rich is with the existence of poor people. Not necessarily very poor, but then poorer than them or less richer than them.
Like an average.
So if there's someone who earns 10 million, somebody else who earns 5 million, someone else who earns 2 million, and then there's someone else who earns $1 million, they might even be living the same lifestyle. But then the person who earns 10 million is the richest in the circle.
Yeah.
Now, the person who earns $1 million, he's the richest in another circle, but in that circle is the poorest. And that's where depression sets in, where you have to pick between being the top of the food chain among another circle of friends or being at the bottom of the food chain among another circle of friends. The dilemma comes when you know that being in the circle where you are at the top of the food chain, you shared your riches to the people below the food chain. But then when you are on the other side, where you are at the bottom of the food chain, they shared their riches on you, who is at the bottom.
True.
So on one side, everybody wants to be like you. On the other side, you want to be like everybody.
Others, yeah.
So that's what rich people suffer. I've suffered it. I've beat it. And I think at this point, I'm at a point where I look at riches as relative. If you've seen money before, you will need to make a lot before you classify yourself as rich.
So, like, how much are you talking
But
about?
if you've not seen money before, there's the type of money you see, you start to feel rich. Because it's like, Haba, I've not seen this type of money before.
True.
No matter how much profit I make from crypto, I've seen more than that.
How much is the highest profit you've made? Like, what's the highest profit?
My highest worth from crypto at a point was, I think, $170,000 at a point. But it didn't feel like money because 170,000 is a regular Tuesday in the Web2 business I was in. So like the family business was like a multi-billionaire business, but then I wasn't just feeling it. And then I was like, I want to do something else. And then venturing into something else just made me understand that even this money that they are chasing, the only thing is there's just that freedom that it is your own. But then I look at it and I'm like, Abba, you've touched this amount before. You can still touch it if you like. So it doesn't come off as rich to me. But then to some people, they idolize it and then they are lusting after people's wealth. And there's some people who are even bragging to be wealthy. When I look at them, I can count their life achievements on one hand with my fingers. Yes, you have a lot of money. But then where is the societal footprint you've left? Those are things that matter to me. Because I see riches as the things that your money has done for you, not the money you have. What has your money done for you? Like, how much impact have you made with all the money you have? If all the money you have is channeled into living life, then you've not seen money before. My brother would say, when you eventually make life-changing money, don't spend it like a poor man. Understand that you are rich and you will know how to spend money like someone who is rich. Rich people don't shop every day. Whether you like it or not, they don't shop every day. People who are beneficiaries of riches, they shop every day. That's why rich men don't go to the shops every day. They don't go to the stores every day, but their children go to stores every day because the children are beneficiaries of riches. Rich people see things that they can afford 5 and they still buy 1. Beneficiaries of riches,
Buy 10.
they see things that they can afford 10 and buy 15. So these are just things that will continue to affect you psychologically and emotionally as you progress. It doesn't only affect you when you are trying to balance life and career. It affects you in the entire process of life itself. But then when it now comes to career and life, these are the things that start to play a major role when you advance. Because in all your development, if you start to lose touch of the fact that, when you make so much money, how about call your mom, buy stuffs for her. She always needs things. She's a female too.
Of course.
Put her first before your girlfriend. If your girlfriend is annoyed, then she doesn't love you.
Why would she be annoyed?
There are some that will say, the wig you bought for your mom is more expensive than the one you bought for me.
Don't play.
That's why I'm running away from relationships, because I know what I don't see.
So aside from loneliness, what other psychological
there is also the feeling of underachievement. It sets in sometimes, especially when you start to see people who you did better than, doing better than you, did better than past tense. In the past, you did better than them.
But now
they are doing better than you. You start to feel like what you did was even worth it. But then it was. Because as at then, you were in your element. Money is like those birds that always stay at the windows in the morning. Today they are on this window. Tomorrow, they leave their nest for you with the egg and go to another window. That's how money is. So when the birds are in your own window, you better make sure you are giving them food there so that they will stay.
They stay.
Now, people don't give money reasons to stay. That is where underachievement comes. You start to feel like, maybe I get this money before, where it go? Now, instead of asking where did it go, just try to make more. Forget that it has gone. Obviously,
reflecting on it.
You make mistakes as a first-time millionaire or multi-millionaire or whatever. You make mistakes. You will spend money lavishly. Yes, it is part of it. That's why I say it is vanity. Money was created to be spent. It was not created to be saved.
Yeah.
We started saving money because we still want to spend it later. So money was created to be spent. Save $10 million, you will still spend it.
At the end of the day.
I think that's the only thing that was made to be expended, like to just be let go of. No matter how much it is made to be spent. Now, how do you spend it? That's what matters. If you live in a big mansion with 4 cars and you drive out every day, there's that small boy on your street that hasn't eaten. And every day you pass, you pass in front, you do raise and you match your engine so that you do run in front of him. You make him lost after your wealth. In that sense, you're actually causing more harm to the society than you think. Because where a young boy of 15, 16 is lusting after your wealth, he doesn't even know the source of the wealth. But then in the society of now, he only sees one source of wealth: fraud. Nobody wants to really care.
Work hard.
So every time you raise him in front of him, he's thinking of how he cannot wait to get his first phone so that he will start bombing. Then he will go to school and tell his friends, you get one brother for my street. If you see the V8 where he use pass. If I don't get and make I die. And you will think he's joking.
You think it's one of those secondary school talks.
When he starts to go for it, the day they will tell him, bring your neighbor, you that you are doing raise in front of him, he will use you. Because what? You are the source of the lost. Now that he wants to satisfy the lost, if you are the one, you are gone. Which is why wealth is like one big pot of food that only you cannot finish. The more that food touches the tongues of others, they will be appreciative of the wealth you have. Now, appreciating wealth and lusting after wealth is different.
2 different things.
Lusting after wealth is pretending to be happy that you are wealthy in front of you, and then every time you pass, they are like, who know the one way they do for money? But appreciating wealth is when they are partakers of your wealth, and then when you go, they are like, oh, that guy really they try.
Yeah.
They remember us for streets. Sometimes when I'm in my area, because now I don't go home much, but every time I go to my family house, as I was coming out this afternoon, I stopped. There are these guys that always sell tickets to bike guys. They always sell tickets there, and then I stopped, and then they came and greeted me, and I was like, my brother told me he did Christmas for you, because my brother told me he gave them, I think, 30,000 naira for all of them to share. When my brother told me, I was like, 30K is big for these guys. And then I passed there 2 days ago, I saw that there were more than 15 that even worked there safe.
30K.
And then I was like, 30K to 2,000, what's that? And all of them obviously have families.
And they'll be very, very happy with that.
Yes, now. And then 2 walked up to the window and they were like, they went for holiday that day, and then they were not around. And those 2 people are the ones that we know like the most out of all of them. So I was like, you guys were not there. And then they said, no, they were not there. And then I was like, no problem. Then I brought out 4,000 and gave 2 of them. And they should share it to 2,000 for themselves. And then the way they were hailing me as I was going, I looked from the side mirror. This one happened a few hours ago on my way here. I looked through the side mirror and I saw the way they were happy. And in my mind, I was like, see the way these guys, they rejoice for $3, but I just give them. In my head, it is just $3, but then that wealth has touched the tongue of other people.
Yeah.
Now, as I'm driving away, if anybody there just says, but boy, you don't share Yahoo, they'll say,
It's possible to change it for
possible that they will fight.
It's true.
But then, if I'm the type that has never given them anything, if one of them just says, about Yahoo ni, they say, everyone let Yahoo ni. So, and those things to you, you say, it doesn't matter. Let them say what they want to say. When you will know that it matters, is the day that there will be trouble in your streets. They will warn everybody except you. Why? Because even the people who are not wealthy in the streets, they are tasting their wealth. But you are flexing the wealth on them. That's underachievement. And then while you are flexing the wealth on them, you start to see them favor people who even have lesser than you. And then you are like, I see that I've not done enough. You've done enough for yourself, but you've not done enough for the people around you. Now, that underachievement, he attacks you in different ways. You keep doing what you are doing, and then it still feels like you are doing nothing. That's the effect of underachievement on any career person. That feeling of, see that I've not done, what have I not done? But I've done all these things, and then you are recounting what you've done for people. You can never run out of people to do things for. Privilege is underrated by people. You can wake up every day, press your phone, and money is coming. And you think because you teach it to everybody, they will press their phone and money will come. It's not the same for everybody. If grace was shared equally, you will not have as much money as you have. When you get to the peak of your grace, it stops there.
Sure.
But then grace is boundless. So when it is you, it is you. So the fact that people just make all this money and want to eat it alone is good. It is your money. Excellent. But in the long run, what impact have you made? That is what will start to dawn on you at some point, and you'll be like, later on, you now start carrying food to be sharing to orphanage, less privileged. Now you are not doing it because of free will. You are doing it because you feel like you should. It now seems like a necessity. When Bible said do not give grudgingly, that's exactly what it meant. Don't give with a reason, or don't give because of a reason. Just give. Sometimes I'm driving like this, I have only like 3,000 with me. I'll be thinking, if I give out 500 for this money, I'll just give person 1,000. If problem come, we pass that cash with them, I'll do transfer. If money no dey to transfer, I'll tell somebody to transfer for me, I'll pay. All those are just the things. One day fight will come like this, you will not be able to fight for yourself. You need people to fight for you. Who will you call?
Nobody. They will beat you.
The thugs that you don't use to answer them anytime they are hailing you. They will come now when you call them. They will fight for you. Now you now notice that even the Bible said a little bribe pacifies fury. You will now notice that fury that could have cost you 30,000 in my case now, like the Christmas money we shared for them, that day they will come and fight for you and you will pay them 500,000. So you go say, I be big boy now. But they will use that opportunity.
And milk you.
They will milk you. And then you are still somebody without value to them. They will be waiting for opportunities like that to milk you every time. The number of people in this my life that have told me that they are ready to shed blood for me, I get very uncomfortable when they say it. There was this bike guy that time. Every time he carries me, small distance 1,000, long distance 2,000, whatever. I don't used to count money that I used to give him. I'll just give him. One day he looked at me and he was like, "Boss, anywhere you go for this Ojo local government, if anything happen, call me for phone. If they say they go tear my body, I go let them tear am." I looked at him and I said, "Wait." He never reached like that. Nobody will tear your body. I said, no. I don't say they go tear am, but if they won't tear am, I will give them it. I said, "No." I said, "Anytime you see me, they fight that can fight. No say na me fuck up. Because I cannot be at fault and fight like that. Except the person brings the fight to me and they have to injure me. But where I'm not at fault, I will not be the one instigating. No, I beg." I was literally begging him. I was like, "No, they talk this kind of thing." He said, "No, you go this in a play. No, I mean anybody try you for my front anyway." And then one day he was carrying me, policeman jumped in front of the bed. He was like, "If I blow you from out, I don't want that police." So he said, "Well, I'll go blow them." I'm like, "Yeah, chill.
Take a chill pill.
And then he was telling them, "No matter what you won't collect from my this my guy, you don't give me pass like that. You go give me pass like that."
Aww.
And then the policemen were like, and then he find out something. And he said, "No, he not go give you anything." I was not even talking, and this guy was just shouting at them. Like, "I beg, carry your problem, come on for here." The guy carried the bike and left. And then as we were going, he was like, "No mind them, don't give them anything." He didn't even know that while he was doing all those things, I already had 500 man. He said, "I'll just tell police, take."
Okay, just take.
But then he was like, "No give him anything, no give." I was like, "Good." You can't buy loyalty. It's earned. And the only way to earn loyalty is when you give respect to people that feel like you shouldn't give them. Let respect come to people from you as a surprise. Let it not be expected. You will earn their loyalty forever. It's just like you're passing by somebody every single day. The last thing you expect is that you will stop one day and call him and greet him. One day, stop and call him and greet him. Now you are giving respect to somebody that is surprised that you respect him.
Respect him.
What you earn in return is not even respect. At that point, respect, it is no longer reciprocal. It is what he has to do. But what you earn in that type of relationship is loyalty. And that's what a lot of people lack in their rise to riches. You see people, that's why I said the biggest one is loneliness. Lonely at the top, Ashake sang it, yes, but it's not a must. It's lonely at the top, yes, because only you stands at the top. But living at the top, you cannot do it alone. Because all the people you stepped on to get to where you are, they are the ones that will keep holding you up. If all of them start giving up, imagine you have a community of 50 people. All 50 of you are go-getters, and then there's a hierarchy to how 50 of you are. And then you are the richest of all the 50. If all the 49 stop grinding as hard as you
fall.
You start falling. Because in your process of making money, there are a lot of them who actually contributed to it by bringing you information you did not have access to.
Yeah.
And then because you keep flexing your wealth on them, they'll just be like, "Wait till call the hustle for shame." All of us, the hustle is only this guy they make money, and all of them just give up. Who will give you the information again?
Nobody.
You find yourself doing things that 49 people could have done for you.
And it won't be easy.
And then you are doing it alone, and it is not easy. That's why the wealth comes differently. You cannot be wealthy and still be struggling like somebody that is not wealthy. Yes, you have money, but then to make more money, you find yourself putting in so much extra effort. That is not wealth. That's you just being rich and trying to maintain your riches. When you are wealthy, you are in a position where if you sit like this and your money wants to work for you, you have people who willingly want to give you opportunities to make more money without expecting anything in return. You are the one that decides out of your own free will now when you've made the money to give. But if you are trying to maintain riches, you go struggle. With all the money, you still see yourself in front of laptop every time. You say, you are fighting for your life. You don't want to give up. You want to make as much as... It doesn't work like that. Till now, if I wake up in the morning and I say, I will not see money today. I have a group. If I just open the group, even if I don't open the charts throughout a week, the flow there is endless. 2 minutes, Forex chart. Next 10 minutes, they've entered crypto. They are sending charts. And then I'm just there looking. If I have enough money, I can just enter all of them at the same time. Say, I know I'll win in the end because it is a group of people who know what they are doing.
Yeah.
Now, at the point I got to where I got to, and I was like, I'm going to have all this group when I get out. Till now, even as we are here, maybe I'll hang this phone like this and I'll open the chat and I'll be looking. And then when we talk, wait, let me close this position. All those things, I can't even do it again. But then, on the flip side of that, it causes you to be lazy. I slacked a lot. I noticed. I figured that I slacked a lot. But then, in all the slacking, I realized that it was needed. I call it slacking, but then it wasn't me slacking. It was me actually relaxing.
Taking a break.
Because from 2020 to 2021 to 2022, I lost the essence of my being. Like, I was functioning like this mic. On it, let it shall be walking. That was me. Shall wake up and just be walking. That was me. I just wake up, laptop. Wake up, pray, laptop. Wake up, pray, phone. Wake up, pray, laptop. And then...
Were you seeing results?
Yes, now. When I made money, I looked at it. My mom was telling me that time, she was like, Shepi, now you will rest. I said, no, mommy, I'll keep going, The first day, I just changed 5 million naira like this and spent it on my family. I got home that day. I lay down on my bed around 8. I slept till 4 p.m. the next day. When my mom came, she was like, I came 2 times to check if you had died.
8 in the morning, 8 in the evening.
8 in the night till 4 p.m. the next day.
You said what?
When I got up, my mom was like, oh, you're alive. I came to check 2 times if you were still alive. Because what hit me that day was, you self don't try. Now sleep like there is no work. And then I did it that first day and it felt very good. And I was like, I can still be effective even while sleeping like this. As I don't believe all these nonsense motivations of fight for your life, wake up and die. All those things. You are just fast tracking what cannot be fast tracked. There are a lot of things that you can fast track. There are a lot of things you can make to happen before time. But you see, grace, it has an appointed time.
Yeah.
It either happens at that time or you are not worthy of it. Now, then, one of the first things I learned when I broke into a new realm of my relationship with God then was, if you've been praying so much and you're not seeing results, stop thinking it is a God thing or it is a you thing. It is a time thing. It is not just the time yet. You wake up, you are praying, you want to make $1 million. You go inside D5. God knows how much you are worthy of at that point in time. You will only get what you are worthy of. Now, you even see people doing a lot of things that are not right. And then they are making so much money. They are making money because this is a part of life that people actually don't understand. Effort must be crowned with success.
There are some efforts that are not.
Effort must be crowned with success. Why? Because God did not say good effort will be crowned with success.
Yeah.
He said effort will be crowned with success.
So whether good or bad?
So whether good or bad, if there is effort, there will be success. Now, on the flip side of that, everything God is good. But not everything good is God. So that your success that is good, it might not be from God. The fact that you are getting rewarded, it might not be from God. And if it is not from God, it is only a matter of time. You will start to see that it is not from God. Which is why people who feel the need to disconnect from God because they feel like they've gotten to a particular level of achievement, give it time.
You'll come back.
You will not only come back.
You
will lie down and roll back. You will lie down and roll back. I know people that it took one near-death experience for them to realize that it is not about money. One of my guys then, he bought a car. And then he had one accident. After the accident, he sold the car. He fixed the car back to sound health and sold it. He said he will continue using Uber. That he didn't need any sign after that. I was like, just buy a car, get driver. He said no. I will use Uber. And if at all, we enter his friend's car, or for him to use money and buy a car again, he said he wasn't going to get a car. I said, no problem. I said, okay, see what you do. Give somebody Uber to do for you. Buy a good car and give somebody to use as Uber. I was like, okay, no problem. He bought one car in 2020, gave it to one guy and told the guy to be using it as Uber. That guy stopped doing Uber.
Why?
He started carrying only me and my guy. And then every time the guy would be like, sure, they walk me and this one. He'd be like, Oga, this is your car. I know if you use and do Uber. And they wait the day where he go walk, collect and back. Because in his own world, 2020 Camry for Uber, he was like, He said, Oga, this is your car. No expect me to use and do Uber. What he used to do was, people going to the airport, he takes them to the airport. People going to Ikoyi, Banana Island, he takes them there. If you are going to Ikorodu, he will cancel the ride. If you are going to Ojota, he will cancel the ride. If you are going to places where that car shouldn't be, he will cancel the ride. So what he used to do, airport trips, 20k, 30k, he will go and give the guy 50k, 100k. The guy will think he's doing Uber steady. So he just has few clients that he works with. But was that day he started telling the guy that to him, he just bought one small car and gave him. But to him that he gave the car, he saw it as that guy just choosing to let go of the car because he did not want to use it. You need just one experience to actually help you realize that it's not just about money. You face one health challenge, they will do surgery for you and tell you to your face that you barely escaped death.
It was a grace of God.
You will now go back to your wallet and see all the thousands of dollars and you still barely escape death. That's going to be clear to you that it's not even about money. You will find yourself saying, thank God, though.
Yeah.
Unconsciously, you say, thank God, though. Sure, you know how to say, hey, God is not you, it's not you. You don't already talk, thank God. So people just lose touch of reality. That's why most times you now start seeing them doing God, this is not God, it's not that. Ill-gotten wealth. How about give it time? But legit wealth, it will go. But there is no way to not come back. Remember when I was talking about the birds on the window? Did I tell you they went with their nest? Maybe they left the nest there with the eggs. Come back. I was going to reference it. That's why I suspended that theory of the birds and the nest. They will leave the nest there and go and come back. So when grace leaves, there's still a portion of grace left. It comes back.
And it booms faster.
And when it comes back that second time, hey, you will never see yourself below the highest point again. When grace comes and leaves, it leaves you below average. When it comes back, you don't know what average is again. Now, when you see people making money from even tech, they are worthy of the money, yes, because they are putting effort. But that your effort, if there are crimes punishable by nature in your road to riches, punishment is waiting for you. You might forget, everybody around you forget. Nature has a long-lasting memory. Hey, karma is not real. Maybe the people that are doing bad, give them. Maybe they say when you want to go from Island to Ikorodu, it's like you are going in a circle when they can just do one bridge from Ibejuleki that will cross to Ikorodu. Yeah. That's how karma is. Karma does not need bridge. Karma will go round. It will go and visit plenty people that maybe 15 years ago they say karma is not real. 15 years later, karma will go and find them where they are. It will come back and meet you. Now, when karma even comes, you will say, now one of those downsides of life.
Yeah. That
is karma already. You. It happen, sha. Life no be up every time. Until the down go down where you will say, be like it's to want something like this. So at the end of the day, the way to mitigate all these things is do not disconnect from who you were before money came. Do not disconnect from who you were before your career became number one priority. Even if you want to make your career number one priority, inside that your career, put God as number one. Maybe I'm the one that say you want to believe in God. God did not force you. You can go and say it's Amadio as you want. You can say it's Shokmono you want. You can say it's Shongo. God did not stop you. But as far as you say you want to believe in God, you better just believe in Him. Because if you don't believe in Him, you perish. He has told you already. He did not tell you, come on, you must. No.
It's a thing of choice.
But if you make that choice, stick with it. Now you see people, they have this attachment to God when money is not there. They're asking God. God does not care. He will give you the money.
But when money comes,
But when the money comes, he even knows. See, he knows the end from the beginning. Now you cannot deceive God. You cannot sneak up on God. It cannot surprise God. That's the only person that is immune to shock. Because he knows. But then he will not alter the principles he has laid down simply because he wants to maybe teach you a lesson or something. No. It was in the times of old where you see God actually making efforts to teach people lessons. But then now, there's no time for that. Put effort, success is yours. Have faith, it will happen. Ask for mercy. Mercy endurance forever. All those things are already put in place. But for God to come and change something to favor only you, that's what He will not do. Because the same way you put effort and achieve success is the same way sinners will not go unpunished. So if you sinned in putting your effort and you achieve success, you will not go unpunished. Everything is wired. It will work together. And your own punishment will be just one terminal sickness where you don't go find out until you reach stage 4. You will now go to your USDT wallet, you go to crypto wallet, go to Solana wallet, you drain everything. Go to hospital, finish. After everything, they will tell you have 3 months to live. Oh yeah. Go trade for 3 months and may you live forever. Another time you call remember your mama, God. Your papa,
pray for me,
your brothers. You start calling your family every day. Hey, doctor say it's 3 months. Hey. I don't wish bad on people, but then evil has its price. And you must pay it. You must. Just pray to God that when it's time for you to pay the price for the things you've done, you can afford it.
So now, as a trader, as we all know, there are times whereby you lose trades, and then your emotions set in. Do you allow it to overshadow you? Do you like put it on other people, like vent your anger on other people, or you just calm down, stay in your own zone, and chill off? And sometimes you will feel isolated.
Not sometimes. I feel isolated every
all
time.
the time.
Because when I'm not relating with people, who am I relating with? Nobody. I'm just in my own head. So the feeling of isolation is...
But people think maybe...
The feeling of isolation is ever present. Because you continue to see yourself in one black box. And the only thing that brightens up the box is when you win. So you are trapped in that black box until you win.
Have you tried to step out and see how you can be out of that black box?
It's not a box where you want to step out from, because it's your comfort zone.
But you don't have to be so trapped in that box.
No, that trap,
it
is not something you choose. It comes with the process towards success. Like there's that point where you are in that black box. And once there's the slightest glimmer of success, the room becomes bright, and then you see where the door is and you can go. So when I lose, first thing I do is eat.
Food is necessary.
As I lose, I go and first eat. Then when I eat, I sleep. Then when I wake up, I check if I'm still feeling defeated by that loss. If I think about the loss and it still makes me feel bad, I'm not ready yet. The moment I think about the loss and I'm ready to accept it, I'm ready to continue. So until I get to the point where I'm ready to accept that particular loss, I don't see the need to continue. Last year, August, I think, yes, I lost $10,000 in one night. The next morning, I opened the chart and everything was blurry. The only time that thing ever happened was December 4th, 2021, when I lost all my money.
You still keep dates something?
Why not? I know, all the dates I've lost money, I know all of them. Yes, this last one was August 7th, I think. Was it August 7th? No, August 27th. Yes. Before then, there was one June 18th. June 18th was 7.5. I think January 12th was 13,200. December 4th, 2021 was 4.5, because that was all I had then. I was still like very fresh in the whole trading thing. Slept and woke up, my wallet was drained, like zero. Everything, I lost it. I just lost everything, and then I was like, oh. And then, now I know what the most painful one was 2022, August 29th. I was so close to achieving my monthly target, and then I lost almost 80% of it down to 70%. I started the month with, I think, $228, and I wanted to trade it up to $5,000. I said I was going to. And then I did. I was at 4,800 as at August 29th. In my mind, I was like, getting the 200 is not going to be hard now. And then I was like, let's do business as usual. And I entered. Forgot that I was monthly close. I woke up, I saw 1,200 in my wallet. I laughed. I didn't tweet for like 4 days. But then I didn't know that throughout this process of growing that 228 to 4,800, 2 investors were watching me, and then when I was feeling like I had lost all the money I was ever going to make, that was when the biggest money I've seen in my life came into my hand. They just sent me messages, and they were like, oh, they've been watching me since, and they feel like, oh, it's time to give me money to trade for them. And I was like, okay, no problem. And then the guy that gave me money, he said the main reason why he was comfortable giving me was because he was waiting to see how I will handle a loss. He was watching me post profits, and he said he was waiting to see how I will handle a loss. And then he joined the space, and I spoke about that money that I lost on that space. He sent me a DM immediately. He was saying he has confirmed what he was looking for. By the next day, he sent $35,000 to one wallet and told me to start trading for him. I think from that his own, I cashed out 10K twice. I traded from 35K to 50K. We split the first time, second time. Then in total, I think I got to about 20,000 from the deal with him. Then there was this other Spanish lady, she just messaged me. Her one was even bigger because she had a project she was running, so there was money with her. In total, I think I made about 130 something K for her. So by the time all the money came together, it was ranging to around 100K that I had for myself. Because after all the money came together, I still kept on like trading. It was now easier then because I had enough liquidity with me, so I was able to generate more money for myself. But then in total, I think at that period, I made close to about 125,000 in total. So it was just me experiencing a phase where the emotions had to die. Because if I kept on dwelling on those losses that happened on August 29th, I would have carried the luggage of those losses and then put it on those big money that they were giving me, and I would have still lost it. So I think that was when I evolved emotionally.
What's your advice to upcoming traders or people that are looking up to you?
The only thing I always tell them to do is don't look up to my successes. Look up to the processes. Like, success should not even matter. Understand how I got to where I am first. Don't be too focused on where I am. Because if you put all your mind to where I am, it will look like it's too far from me. But understand that I was first trading with $10 per position before I stepped up to $25 per position. Then at a point I was comfortable trading with $100 on every trade. Then at a point I got comfortable with 500 before I got comfortable with 1K. Then it got to the point where I saw myself entering positions with 10,000, and then I would look and I was like, oh yeah, the one doing this, so keep going. There was a time when my 10% was $1. At a point my 10% was $10,000. So there is a process to it, and I feel like people should relate to the process more than the destination. Everybody is always like, how did you do it? And then they always want to hear, I made so much money. They forget that the waves I had to, it was like going through the Northern Sea before getting to my destination. I don't know. It has been an emotional roller coaster since I started trading, because initially my family didn't even accept anything I was doing. So it was me fighting the market and me fighting my family. But then eventually they told me, you have to select who. You cannot be doing business with us and be doing crypto. Choose one. And then we had one meeting one night, and they were like, which one do you want to do? I looked at them, bloodshot eyes, and I'm like, I'll do crypto full time. And then that was how I left the business. And then 2 months later, my dad was already saying, I want to see money. Withdraw, let me know that thing is bringing out money.
It's real. Not like a Ponzi scheme.
And then in the process, I just came back one day. gave him one package like this. He opened it. He saw a new tablet. I was like, "It's your own." I gave my mom my own package. He opened the new phone. I gave my two brothers new phones. Give her two pairs of shoes for my dad, 2 pairs of shoes for her. Because she always wanted Skechers. My dad liked Skechers. Skechers, they're like the most expensive pairs of sneakers in Lagos. So I just entered the store that day. I looked around the store. In my mind, in my head then, it was like, it's time to spoil this people. She said they want to see if money will come out.
Okay.
And it all felt good because I was spending for my family now.
Before.
I did transfer that day 800 and 700,000. I looked at it. I said, take your money, give me my shoe, let me go. Then I got to give everybody shoes and everybody was happy. I was like, oh, that's the feeling I've always been looking for. Then since that time, my dad was like, there's money in this thing. And then sometimes he would just ask me, is it the type of thing that you can use to feed your family, get married? I said, see, don't worry about that.
Because you're also thinking about yourself and I think about your family.
Yes, now I was like, if I don't consider all those things, that day in the parlor there, I'll tell you I still want to do business. I said my family will come and be hungry. But then I know that it's something that if you do it diligently and
effectively,
with enough commitment, it can sustain you for as long as possible. Without stress. Actually, with stress, but then the stress is part of it. So
stress is part of every business.
Yeah, if you need to put in extra effort, it means you are doing something wrong.
Okay. We've learned a lot from today.
If you don't have to learn, it's your choice. That's the thing I will not force anybody to do in this life. You learn.
But you learn now. Either you learn the hard way or you learn the normal way.
People like subscribing to the hard way freely.
So we've learned a lot from you, Thanos. We really appreciate you coming here. Out of your busy schedule, you still found time.
Okay, busy schedule. I'm jobless at the moment. Please, people that are going to watch, if you have a job, send me a message. Come and work.
Out of your busy schedule. But at least you would have been at home trading or do one or the other. Exactly.
That's true. You are not wrong, Sha.
So out of those times, you found out today to be with us, and we really, really appreciate you. Thank you very much for coming.
You're welcome.
So, all right, to our listeners, our subscribers, please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channels, our other social media platforms, and to our official sponsors. Thank you very much. Easy Swap, as we all know, is the exchange that enables you to sell your cryptocurrency and receive Naira instantly without delay. All right, guys, until next time, keep it teching, keep it cool. Bye.